Welcome to Emma's English. Hey, English learners, welcome back to Emma's English Talk, your cozy little place to learn real, everyday English through natural conversations. I'm Emma.
And I'm Tom. It's so great to be here with you today, Emma, and of course with all of our amazing listeners around the world.
Today, we are talking about something that I think absolutely everyone has experienced at least once or probably every single day.
Oh, really? What is this mysterious topic? I am very curious now.
Well, have you ever walked out of your house, ready for a great day, and suddenly found yourself trapped behind someone walking very, very slowly?
Oh, yes. That happens to me all the time, especially when I am in a hurry to get to the train station or to work.
It is such a common thing, but it can actually make you feel quite stressed. This morning, it happened to me, and it was so awkward.
Awkward. That is a great word for our listeners. You mean it felt uncomfortable and a little bit embarrassing, right?
Yes, exactly. When you feel awkward, you feel like you do not know what to do, and you feel uncomfortable in the situation.
I completely understand. You are walking behind this person. You want to go faster, but you do not want to seem rude.
Yes, you do not want to push past them, but you also do not want to walk at a slow speed forever.
It is like a silent dance on the street. You go left, they go left. You go right, they go right.
Exactly. It really is a daily dilemma, which means a difficult choice or situation that we face almost every time we walk outside.
So, tell me about your morning, Emma. Where were you going when this happened?
I was actually walking to my favorite coffee shop. It is only about 5 minutes away from my apartment.
That sounds like a short, easy walk. Did it take longer today?
Yes, it took almost 10 minutes because of the slow walker in front of me.
10 minutes for a 5-minute walk. That must have been really frustrating for you.
It was. The sidewalk near my apartment is very narrow, so there's not much space.
Narrow sidewalks are the worst for this. There is simply no room to move around people.
Yes. And the person in front of me was looking down at their smartphone the whole time.
The smartphone walker. They are always the slowest because they are not looking where they are going.
Exactly. They are typing a message or watching a video, and they have no idea that someone is behind them.
That is so true. They are in their own little world, completely unaware of the traffic behind them.
Yes, and I was just trying to get my morning coffee before our recording session today.
Well, thank you for making it here on time anyway. I appreciate your effort.
Thank you, Tom. I really did my best, but it was a true test of my patience.
I think many of our listeners can relate to this. Walking in a city can be a real adventure sometimes.
It really can. There are so many different types of walkers on the street.
Yes, and we have to share the same small space with all of them.
That is why I thought this would be a perfect, funny, and very useful topic for us to talk about today.
I agree. We can share our experiences and also help our listeners learn some great everyday English words.
Yes, that is the plan. So let us dive deeper into this sidewalk struggle.
So, Emma, you were behind this person who was looking at their phone. Did you try to walk very close to them?
Well, at first, I didn't want to get too close, but because the street was so crowded on the sides, I had to tail them for a while.
To tail them? That is an interesting expression. Does it mean you were following them very closely, like an animal's tail follows its body?
Yes, that is exactly what it means. To tail someone means to follow right behind them, almost touching their back.
I see. So you were tailing this slow phone user on the narrow sidewalk.
Yes, I was tailing them for about 2 blocks. It felt like I was a secret agent, but a very impatient one.
That is so funny. Did they realize you were tailing them? Did they look back?
No, not at all. They were completely glued to their screen. I think they were playing a game or something.
That is the worst. When people play games while walking, they lose all sense of speed.
They really do. They walk 3 steps, then stop, then walk 2 more steps. It is impossible to walk normally behind that.
Yes, because you cannot establish a rhythm. You have to stop and start constantly.
Exactly. It's a very tiring for your legs and your mind.
So why didn't you just try to overtake them?
To overtake them? Oh, that is another excellent word. Just to be clear for everyone listening, To overtake means to pass someone who is going slower than you, right?
Yes, exactly. We often use it for cars on the road when one car passes another, but we can also use it for people walking. To overtake is to go past them, so you are now in front.
Ah, yes. Well, I really wanted to overtake them, but as I said, the sidewalk was just too narrow.
Were there trees or streetlights blocking the sides of the sidewalk?
Yes, there were big trees, trash cans, and also some parked bicycles.
That sounds like a complete obstacle course. No wonder you couldn't overtake them easily.
It really was. Every time I thought about stepping to the side to overtake them, a new obstacle appeared.
Did you think about stepping onto the road where the cars drive?
I did think about it for a second, but it is a busy street and I did not want to risk my life for a cup of coffee.
Wise decision, Emma. Coffee is important, but safety is definitely more important.
I agree. But it was still very tempting to just run past them on the street.
I know that feeling. Sometimes I get so frustrated that I actually do step onto the road for a brief second just to overtake a slow walker.
Really? You do that, Tom? Isn't it dangerous?
It can be. I only do it if I can see that there are absolutely no cars coming.
I see. I am always too scared to do that. I prefer to stay on the sidewalk even if it means I'm stuck.
Well, you are much safer than me then, but it must have been so annoying to just stand there behind them.
It was. And the worst part is, when you are tailing someone, you start to feel like you are invading their personal space.
Yes, that is true. If they suddenly stop, you might walk right into them.
Exactly. And that would be even more awkward than just walking slowly.
Did you try to make any noise to let them know you were there?
I did. I cleared my throat a few times. I went, mm-mm, mm-mm.
Did they hear you?
No, they did not hear me at all. I think they might have had wireless headphones in their ears.
Oh, of course. Headphones are another classic barrier. People cannot hear anything around them.
Yes, they are in their own world. They cannot see you and they cannot hear you.
It is like they are a slow-moving wall on the street.
That is a perfect description. A slow-moving wall that you cannot climb over or go around.
I often experience this with groups of people, not just single persons.
Oh yes, groups are even harder to deal with.
Yes, sometimes you have 3 or 4 friends walking together, and they walk side by side.
They hold hands or just stand in a line, taking up the entire width of the sidewalk.
Exactly. They are talking and laughing, and they walk at a very relaxed pace.
That's fine if you're on vacation, but not when you're trying to go somewhere.
Yes, for them, it's a lovely walk in the park. For us, it's a race against time to get to work.
It's a classic clash of purposes. One person is relaxing and the other is busy.
When I meet a group like that, tailing them is almost impossible because they are so wide.
So what do you do in that situation, Tom? How do you overtake a whole group?
Well, I usually have to wait for the sidewalk to get wider, or I have to say, "Excuse me," in a very loud voice.
Saying excuse me can be hard for some people. It feels a bit confrontational sometimes.
It does. But if you say it with a friendly smile, most people are very nice about it and step aside.
That is true. Most people do not want to block the path on purpose. They just don't realize they're doing it.
Exactly. They are just enjoying their day and their conversation.
But it still requires some courage to speak up, especially if you're a quiet person.
Yes, that is very true. I think many people prefer to just suffer in silence behind the slow walkers.
That is definitely what I did this morning. I just walked slowly and watched the back of this person's head for 5 minutes.
Did you learn anything interesting about them from watching them so closely?
Well, I noticed they had a very cool backpack with funny stickers on it.
See, there is always a silver lining, which means a good side to a bad situation. You got to look at a cool backpack.
Yes, that is true, but I would have preferred my warm coffee 5 minutes earlier.
I understand. A cool backpack cannot replace a warm cup of coffee in the morning.
Definitely not. And by the time I arrived at the coffee shop, the line was even longer because I was late.
Oh no, that is a double disaster. The slow walker made you late, and then the line made you even later.
Yes, it was a chain reaction of slowness, all because of one person on their phone.
It's amazing how much one person's walking speed
can affect another person's whole morning.
It really is. It shows how we are all connected in the city, even if we don't talk to each other.
Yes, our actions, even small ones, like how fast we walk, can have an impact on the people around us.
That is a very deep thought for a conversation about sidewalks, Tom.
Well, I like to find deep meaning in the simple things of life, Emma.
I like that about you, Tom. It makes our conversations very interesting.
Thank you. I try my best. But seriously, this sidewalk dilemma is something we should all think about.
Yes, we should. We should all try to be more aware of our surroundings when we're walking.
Absolutely. If we are walking slowly, we should try to stay to one side of the sidewalk so others can pass.
Yes, like driving on the highway. Keep the fast lane open for the people who are in a hurry.
That would be a wonderful rule for city sidewalks. I wish we could write that into law.
That might be a bit too much, Tom. I don't think we need sidewalk police.
Maybe not police, but some friendly signs would be nice.
Yes, signs that say, please walk on the right if you are taking your time.
That would be very helpful, especially in busy tourist areas.
Definitely. Tourists are famous for walking slowly because they want to look at all the beautiful buildings.
And they should. It's natural for them to want to see everything.
Of course. But if they could just leave a little space on the side for the locals, everyone would be happy.
Yes, it's all about mutual respect and sharing the space.
Exactly. It makes city life much smoother for everyone.
You know, Emma, sometimes the opposite happens to me. I am the one walking slowly, and I feel someone tailing me.
Really? You walk slowly sometimes? I thought you were always in a rush.
Well, on weekends, I like to take slow walks and just enjoy the fresh air.
Ah, yes. Weekend walks are different. You want to relax and clear your mind.
Yes, but then I hear these fast footsteps behind me, and I feel this sudden pressure.
Oh, I know that feeling. It is like a shadow is following you, and you feel you need to speed up.
Exactly. I feel like I am blocking them, so I try to move to the side, but sometimes there is no space.
Yes, on a narrow street, even moving to the side can be difficult.
So I end up speeding up just to make them happy, which ruins my relaxing walk.
That is so true. You lose your peace of mind because you want to be polite.
Yes, it is a struggle for both the fast walker and the slow walker.
It really is. It seems no one is completely happy in this situation.
But you know, sometimes things happen very quickly on the street. Like a person can appear out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere? That is a very common idiom. For our listeners, out of nowhere means very suddenly and unexpectedly, right?
Yes, exactly. It is when something happens so fast that you did not see it coming at all, as if it appeared from nowhere.
Ah, yes. Like when a skateboarder suddenly zooms past you out of nowhere?
Yes, that can be very scary. 1 second, the street is quiet, and the next second, someone is flying past you.
That happened to me last week. I was walking, and a bicycle came out of nowhere from behind me.
That is very dangerous. Bicycles should not be on the sidewalk in most places.
I know, but some people still ride them there, which makes walking even more stressful.
It does. You have to be ready to jump out of the way at any moment.
Yes, it is not just about slow walkers, but also about fast things appearing out of nowhere.
Street life is definitely full of surprises. You always have to pay attention.
Yes, and sometimes when you try to overtake someone, they suddenly change their speed.
That is the worst. You decide to pass them, so you speed up, but then they speed up too.
Yes, and then you are forced to match their pace.
To match their pace, that is a useful phrase. To match someone's pace means to walk at the exact same speed as them, right?
Yes, exactly. To match means to be the same, and pace means speed. So you walk at the same speed as the other person.
It is so awkward when you have to match their pace right next to them.
Yes, you are walking side by side with a stranger, looking like your best friends walking together.
Exactly. You're both walking fast, next to each other, not saying anything. It is so funny and embarrassing.
It really is. You just wanted to pass them, but now you're stuck walking next to them at this high speed.
Why do people do that? Why do they speed up when you try to pass them?
I think it is an unconscious reaction. They see someone passing them in their side vision, and their brain tells them to walk faster.
Like a race. They do not want to lose.
Yes, it is a natural human instinct, I suppose. We do not like to be left behind.
Well, it makes things very complicated on the sidewalk.
It really does. That is why I always look for a clear path before I try to pass anyone.
A clear path? That is another good phrase. A clear path means an open way with no obstacles or people blocking you, right?
Yes, that is correct. Clear means empty or open, and path is the way or sidewalk. So it's an open space where you can walk freely.
Yes, having a clear path is the best feeling when you are in a hurry.
It is. You can finally walk at your own speed without any worries.
You can just walk straight and fast, feeling the wind in your face.
It's like finding an open highway after being stuck in a traffic jam.
That is a great comparison. It really feels like that.
I always feel so relieved when I finally find a clear path.
Me too. My stress level immediately goes down and I can relax.
But in big cities, finding a clear path can be very rare, especially during rush hour.
Yes, rush hour is the ultimate test of sidewalk navigation.
Navigation is a good word too. It means finding your way through a difficult space.
Yes, you have to navigate through the crowd like a ship in a storm.
That is a very dramatic image, Tom. A ship in a storm.
Well, sometimes it feels like that when you're trying to get to the subway station at 5 p.m.
I agree. It can be very intense. People are moving in all directions and everyone is in a hurry.
Yes, and some people are stopping suddenly to look at their maps, while others are running to catch a bus.
It is a chaotic mix of different speeds and directions.
It really is. That is why we need to be very skilled walkers in the city.
Yes, walking in the city is definitely a skill that you have to practice.
I think people who grow up in cities are much faster walkers than people from small towns.
That is actually true. There have been studies about this. City people walk faster on average.
That makes sense. They are used to the fast rhythm of the city, and they always have somewhere to be.
Yes, and they are also better at finding a clear path in a crowd.
They have that special city vision where they can see the gaps in the crowd before they even happen.
Yes, it's like a superpower. You can see the gaps in the crowd and move into them smoothly.
I wish I had that superpower. I still get stuck behind slow walkers all the time.
Don't worry, Tom. With enough practice, you can become a master sidewalk navigator too.
I hope so. I will start practicing on my walk home today.
Just remember to keep your eyes open and look for those clear paths.
I will, and I will try not to look at my phone while walking.
Yes, please do not be the slow walker that everyone else has to tail.
I promise I will not. I want to be a part of the solution, not the problem.
That is a great attitude, Tom. I'm proud of you.
Thinking about our struggles on the sidewalk today and how we navigate through the crowds actually reminds me of some great natural phrases we used in our conversation.
Oh, yes. We used some really useful words and expressions today that can help our listeners sound much more natural when they speak English.
Yes. For example, you mentioned that walking behind that slow person this morning was very awkward.
Yes, awkward. That is such a common word in English, but it can be hard to translate into other languages.
It really is. It is that feeling when things are not smooth and you feel embarrassed or uncomfortable in a social situation.
Yes, like when you meet someone and you do not know if you should shake hands or give a hug, and you just stand there. That is an awkward moment.
Or when you are walking behind someone so closely that you are basically tailing them.
Yes, to tail. We explain that as following someone very closely. It comes from the noun tail, like a dog's tail.
Right. So if you are tailing someone, you are right behind them, following their every move.
Yes, you can tail someone on the street, or a police car can tail another car if they are following it.
That is a great example. It's a very active, descriptive verb.
And then we talked about trying to pass that person, which we called overtaking them.
Yes, to overtake.
This is very common when we talk about driving, but it's also great for walking.
Exactly. To overtake is to catch up with someone who is going slower and move past them so you are in front.
It sounds much more natural than just saying, I walked past them. Overtake shows that there was a difference in speed.
Yes, it shows you were going faster and you made an effort to get ahead of them.
We also talked about how some things can happen very suddenly or appear out of nowhere.
Yes, out of nowhere. This is a beautiful idiom. It means something happens so fast and unexpectedly that it feels like it came from nowhere.
Like that bicycle you mentioned, or a sudden rain shower that starts when the sky was clear just a minute ago.
Yes, it is a very dramatic way to say suddenly. It makes your story sound much more interesting.
It really does. And then what about when you cannot overtake and you have to match their pace?
To match someone's pace. This is a great phrase for describing speed.
Yes, to match means to be equal to, and pace means walking or running speed.
So, if you match their pace, you are walking at the exact same speed as them, even if you do not want to.
Yes, you are moving together like a pair of synchronized swimmers, but on the sidewalk.
That is a funny image, but yes, that is exactly what it means.
And finally, we talked about the great feeling of finding a clear path.
Yes, a clear path. This means an open, empty way where nothing is in your way.
It's the opposite of a crowded sidewalk full of obstacles.
Yes, when you have a clear path, you can walk freely and fast.
These are all such practical words for anyone who has to walk in a city or talk about their daily commute.
They really are. Using these phrases will make our listeners sound so much more fluent and natural.
I agree. It's much better than just using basic words like walk, fast, or slow all the time.
Yes, it adds color and detail to your English, which is exactly what intermediate learners need to do.
Speaking of learning these great new words and studying them so you can remember them later, did you know we have a PDF script available for this episode?
Oh yes, that is right. If you want to read along while you listen or practice shadowing our voices, you can download the full script for free.
It is a great way to study because you can see all the target vocabulary written down and see how we use them in real sentences.
Yes, and it is completely free for our community members.
All you have to do is click the link in the description or in the pinned comment below to get your copy.
And while you're there, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button if you are enjoying this episode.
Yes, your support really helps us make more lessons like this for English learners all over the world.
It really does. We love creating these episodes for you, and your comments and likes give us so much energy.
So go grab that PDF and keep studying with us.
All right, and speaking of reviewing, before we say goodbye today, let us do a quick review of the 6 key expressions we used in our conversation.
That is a great idea. A quick summary is always helpful for remembering things.
Our first word was awkward. Tom, how would you use awkward in a simple sentence?
Well, I could say there was an awkward silence when no one knew the answer to the teacher's question.
That is a perfect example. It describes that uncomfortable feeling very well.
Our second expression was to tail. Emma, can you give us a sentence for that?
Sure. The detective had to tail the suspect through the crowded market.
Excellent. It really shows the action of following someone closely.
Our third word was to overtake. How about a sentence for that one, Tom?
The runner managed to overtake her opponent right before the finish line.
Oh, that is a very exciting sentence. It fits the meaning perfectly.
Our fourth expression was out of nowhere. Emma, how would you use this one?
I would say a dog ran out of nowhere and scared me while I was jogging.
Oh, that is scary, but it is a very natural way to use the idiom.
Our fifth phrase was to match someone's pace. What is your sentence for this, Tom?
When I walk with my grandfather, I always try to match his pace so he does not feel rushed.
That is very kind of you, Tom, and it is a great, clear example of the phrase.
And our last phrase was clear path. Emma, can you finish our review with a sentence for this one?
Of course. Once we passed the heavy traffic, we had a clear path all the way to the beach.
That sounds like a wonderful road trip. A clear path is always a good thing.
It really is. Well, we have covered some fantastic vocabulary today, and I hope our listeners found them useful.
I am sure they did. These are words you will hear native speakers use all the time in daily life.
Yes, so try to practice using them in your own sentences this week.
And now we want to hear from you, our amazing listeners.
Yes, what about you guys? How do you handle slow walkers on the street? Do you wait patiently behind them, or do you try to overtake them immediately?
Do you have any funny sidewalk stories to share with us? Let us know in the comments below.
Yes, we really want to read your answers and chat with you in the comment section.
Thank you so much for listening and studying with us today.
Yes, thank you everyone. Have a wonderful day. Keep practicing your English, and we will see you in the next episode of Emma's English Talk.
Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.